Say if you've not got a trusting relationship with someone, you've not got anything. But you build that trust as well by not making promises. You know, I don't want to be another worker who they're dealing with the promises and everything doesn't deliver anything. You know, I can only promise that I will help them as far as I can. That I'll work along with them. That I'll engage in my services. I don't promise anything like that. As I say, I can't deliver, and that's where the trust starts as well. But it's paramount to working with anyone who's having trust. Paramount to any relationship.
We felt like that was the community development aspect. So again, like it's not a lot of the stuff that we're doing is challenging housing practice and system, both internally with Sanctuary, but wider as well, hopefully. And there's a fine line to tread. That's like we're not challenging the housing staff, or we're not challenging the people who are doing these jobs, because to a person, they all want to help people. They all want to keep people in their homes. They're people that care. The issue for me is that the system that they're operating in prevents them from caring more. So for us, taking a kind of community development lens to that and working with trust, working with relationships, that's something different, I think, for housing. So trust is absolutely key. The thing that is difficult is trust is hard to get, especially for people who are, again, traumatised, have been let down continuously by services, have been let down by that housing provider, have been let down by family. Like, trust it's so hard to get, and it's really easy to lose. Kicked this about over the past year and a bit, because again, part of what we want to do is simplify what we're talking about. You know, like we talk about community development, housing stuff, trauma, but it's like professionalized speak. If you're in those worlds, then you get it, you understand it. But we wanted to talk about what we do and think about, like, how do we approach every situation, internally, externally, with tenants, with staff, with partners, whatever it is. And relationships are the foundation of everything that we do. So the 5 things that we try to take to every situation that we're working in is kindness, integrity in the way that we work, to build trust. We have empathy for people in their situation, and we respect everybody. And ultimately, we want to give people hope that tomorrow is going to be better than today. That's basically what we're aiming for. And to me, I was thinking about this on the way over. You know, like, people will ask, "What is it you do?" And I think folk are always looking for practical answers. But it's like, I can't give you a practical answer to every situation that you might come up against in housing, because you're different, the situation's different, the person you're dealing with is different. What I can give you are some tools to try and look at it from what we've learned so far, and those 5 things are those tools. You know, it costs nothing to go and be kind to people. It doesn't cost anything. Like, we could change the way that we work in housing, like, immediately. It could start happening now if we start being kinder, if there's a bit more respect, if there's that integrity, trust. The best thing is that we've been allowed and trusted to do this work. This work wasn't happening. I came to it by way of being frustrated with seeing how things were happening and thinking we could do more, but not really understanding how. So I went out and talked to loads of people, and I came back with this idea for Kevin's job. And Sanctuary were just like, yeah, get some money and prove it to her. If you can find a way to externally fund it to prove that it works, then we're happy that you do it. So they kind of threw the challenge back at us. I was lucky enough to get some external funding, came from SFHA and Scottish Government, which pays for Kevin's job for the first 3 years. And it's been a roaring success, to the point that Sanctuary have gone, do you know what, you have proven it. And they've put another one at work as a guy called Robert Mullen into Tory Glen, where we've got housing stock, and they're paying for that from operational budget. So they're committed. So the trust that Sanctuary have given us, me, the whole team, like that's the best thing. Director's been unwavering in our support for the things that we're trying to do through this.
For me, the best part of working for Sanctuary as well is having a housing association. It's kind of willing to shine a torch on themselves and have a look at themselves, and how do we stop evictions, and how do we help people within the tenancies. Because for me, for a long time, it was people get handed a set of keys and given access to a home, and that was just the start of the problem. So we're looking at it now as well, and as Anthony says, the housing officers are the first person to give me referrals. You know, the referrals are for people who in the past have probably been seen as problematic. You know, and it's finding out why they're problematic, what's going on for them, what is their history, how do we go about and help, how do we keep them in their tenancies. You know, and sanctuary benefit for that as well. You know, having a happy tenant is better than having an unhappy one.
Totally. And hopefully where we want to get to is to have the same impact for staff. Like, it's hard work for them. It's hard working in housing. Like, they're ran off their feet all of the time. But ultimately, and this is where it came down to, and this is the argument that I'll always make, like, as a housing association, or as housing associations, as a housing sector, surely what we want is happy, healthy people living in their homes for longer, paying their rent. And what we want from staff are happy, healthy staff doing their jobs for longer. So we don't have a churn, we don't have a turnover in either of them. This is one way that we're finding is working towards it. I'm not saying it's the only answer, but it's certainly making a bit of a difference for us at the minute, isn't it?